Hey guys, welcome back to another video on PS4 Linux. If you do follow me on Twitter and other social media, then you would know that I have been working on PS4 Linux's first exploit host for PS4s on 9.00 firmware. Here I have my PS4 running on 9.00 right now. So let me just give you the first look of what the exploit host from PS4 Linux looks like. So I'm going to go to the internet browser and then type in the address bar jb.ps4linux. I have it already here. So I'm going to go to that address and this is going to give you the first look of the exploit host that I have been working on. Let's just go. Okay. So here it is loading. So the first time it loads, it will cache everything that is in the cache.manifest file. We will talk about that later when I teach you how you could host your own exploit host site with the script that I will make available today. Okay, so I'm going to press OK to start the caching, and I've also added a little progress bar to show you how much caching has been completed. And as you can see, this is based on Slayers Govey, the major dev whom we are all thankful to, Slayers Govey. So it is based on his script that I have worked on this exploit host, and I also have to thank Namecheap and EP68 for their tools, which will help us exploit and host our own websites. Okay, though I've mentioned only 3 or 4 names in this particular website, it does not mean that I'm not thankful to the other guys, because they have done a lot for the scene too. So I would like to thank them too for their hard work, and especially those payload authors like, PS Zeta, Nazki, and many others. If I have not mentioned your name, please pardon me. It's not that I'm not thankful for your work. I'm greatly thankful. Okay, so yep, the page has been cached successfully as it says. I'm going to press on OK, and then let's see what kind of payloads we have right here. I've just made available Golden, the latest version, I guess 2.25b, and an earlier version for those who want to taste the earlier version. And then on Linux, I have also made sure that you have access to the latest PS4 Pro payloads, the ones that are known to double the performance and FPS on PS4 Pro, thanks to the works of the developers from PS Zeta and Mercoho. Okay. And apart from that, we also have the earlier payloads from Nazki and PS Zeta. You could also try that. And we also have Who's That Southbridge payload, which tells you what kind of Southbridge you have. For example, Baikal. Okay. And under the section of other payloads, we also have the others like disable updates, enable updates and stuff. Okay. So that was a quick overlook of the PS4 Linux exploit host for PS4s running 9.00 firmware. Now let us directly jump into the section that you guys are most interested for. Yes, exactly. How you could host your own exploit host websites like the one you see on your screen right now very easily. So to begin the whole process, let me get on my PC and then we'll go from there. Okay. So now that we are back on my PC, let's see how you could host your own exploit host site very easily. Okay. So these are basically the files that you will require for the process. This happens to be the most important among the bunch. This is the exploit host script that contains the HTML files and the payload files and everything else that will help us host the website. So if your aim is to just host a copy of what you just saw on the PS4, then all you have to do is extract this file and copy it to your host directly. But if you want to make changes to the design and stuff, if you want to add more payloads or maybe change the tabs and stuff, you will have to watch the whole video for that. So let us talk about the whole process from start to finish. Okay. First of all, the requirements. Obviously, you're going to require a PS4 that runs on 9.00. Currently, the host is only for 9.00. When there are newer exploits for the newer firmwares, I'll make sure that the host is updated accordingly. Okay. For now, you will need a PS4 that runs on 9.00. Okay. And then we are going to need the exploit host files that I have right here. And you can download the same file. In fact, you could download the latest file from the latest releases section on my GitHub page, which will be linked in the description. And then we're going to need bin2js, which converts bin payloads to JS. And that's thanks to the developer Hippie68. Here is his GitHub page where you can download it directly. Again, this will be linked in the description. You could go check that out. And there are 2 versions of this file. One is for the 38-bit and the other is for 64. Currently, my system is running a 64-bit OS on a 64-bit processor. So I'm going to download this file, which I have right here. Okay. If you do have a 32-bit system, maybe an older system, you could download the other file. And in this tutorial, we are also going to try adding a new payload to this exploit host. And that's why I have the Golden 2.2.3 payload, which is a bit older than the 2.24 and 2.25b7, which are already available on the host. But just for the purpose of teaching, I'm going to try and upload this new payload to the PS4 exploit host. Okay. And those were quickly the requirements, the basic requirements. As the tutorial progresses, we are going to talk about some more requirements that are extremely necessary for the process. Okay, so now without further ado, let's just get into the process. Okay, so the first step is getting hosting. Obviously, you're going to host your website somewhere, so you're going to need a good hosting. And that's where I recommend this absolutely great host called Interserver. Actually, I've been hosting my websites on Interserver for quite a few months now, and I have had great experience with them. They do have great chat support and even email ticket support. And moreover, if you were to use the link in the description that I have provided, then you could get your first month of hosting for just a penny. Okay, you could also use the coupon code PS4 Linux if you want the first month for $0.01. That is basically just a penny. Okay, apart from that, you could also find great offers on this website for almost everything like VPS and stuff. For just running the host and a few other websites are shared hosting, the basic hosting plan would be more than enough, which is this. But if you want to experiment further, or if you want to host multiple websites on a single hosting, then you could consider going for the VPS options right here. Okay, even then you will find that you will get the first month for $0.01 if you use the link in the description. Okay, now that we have that handled, we are going to move to the next step, that is getting a domain name. And for the domain name, I always recommend Namecheap. Okay, you could just go to the link in the description to find the best offers available on domains right now. Namecheap has options for all the kinds of top level domains, including .com, .xyz, and .anything that is available on the internet right now. So you could just try searching for your domain right here and register it right now for a nominal fee. And moreover, while you buy a domain name from Namecheap, you also get the domain name protection. That is the WHOIS domain protection free of cost forever. So that's a plus. And here you will have to choose a domain name based upon your preference. You could choose for something like ps4gb.com or ps4jailbreak.com, or maybe if your username is something like noob, you could go for noobexploit.com or anything that you feel like. Okay, and then once you have a domain name and hosting, preferably at Namecheap and Interserver respectively, you will have to connect the domain to the hosting for the whole setup to work. And for that, we have a neat little article here which tells you how exactly to do that. Okay, if you do face any problems in these steps, just make sure that you leave a comment below. You could also try contacting the Namecheap support or even Interserver support for helping you with these processes. And I'm always available in the comment section. And you could also leave a comment on my website, or maybe start a new forum post on the forums. I will get back to you and help you host your first exploit site. Okay, so we're done with the first three steps of the process. That was buying hosting, buying a domain, and connecting the domain to the hosting. Now we're going to move to the fourth part of the process, that is converting the bin payloads to JS. And for that, we have this neat little software called bin2js, thanks to Hippie68. And here I have the bin format of the payload. You can find payloads for almost everything on the internet right now. Just make sure that you're downloading the payloads from reputed websites like Vololo or PSX hacks or PlayStation hacks. It is always the best option to download these payloads directly from the GitHub page of the developers. I will try to compile a list of these reputed download links in the future. For now, you'll have to depend on Google for that. Okay, so I have downloaded the Goldhen 2.2.3 for the purpose of this tutorial. You could download any payload that you wish to add to the exploit host. Okay, so the first step is converting the payload to JS. This is currently in .bin format, and we're going to use this neat little tool to convert the .bin to .js. Okay, so I'm going to quickly create a folder right here, which would say JS payloads. Okay, and then I'm going to copy the Goldhen.bin file right into JS payloads. Let's see. Okay, we have it right here. Now you could add as many payloads as you wish to convert right in this folder. In this tutorial, I'm just going to convert the Goldhen 2.2.3 bin file, but if you have multiple payloads to convert, all of them will be converted at the same time using bin2js.exe. So once you have all the payloads that you want to convert in this folder called JS payloads, I'm going to go back one step by clicking on this up arrow. And this folder just before JS payloads must have bin2js.exe already. Okay, I do have it already here, so I don't have to worry about that. Now I'm going to go to the address bar and type cmd to open up a command prompt that says this folder, as you can see right here. And then I'm going to type bin2js.exe. If you had downloaded a 32-bit file, you'll have to rename it accordingly. That is bin2js_32.exe, and then a space, then JS payloads, and then a / like this. JS payloads pertains to the folder that contains the payloads in bin format currently. Okay, and then I'm going to press enter. And as you can see, it has converted this. Let's look into the folder, and here we have the file, that is the .js file. Okay, Once you have converted the bin files to JS, we don't need the bin files anymore. So I'm going to delete this. You could have multiple .bin files that you need to delete. You could just search for the .bin files by typing .bin here and then pressing enter. That would show you all the .bin files. You could control A and delete them all together. Okay, we just need the JS payloads now. Okay, I'm going to close this for now. We'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, I'm going to close this command prompt too. Now we're going to move on to the next step, that is extracting and editing the exploit host files. Okay, so I have the exploit host files right here. I'm going to right click here and then extract it right here to the same folder that is named similarly. Okay, I'm going to go into the folder and these are the files that we're going to be working with. Okay, the first step would be obviously to add the new payload that we have just converted using bin2js. So for that, I'm going to go back to the JS payloads folder right here. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this gold hen file from here and then paste it in the payloads file in the exploit host. Okay, so we have a new file right here. Okay, and then I'm going to go back a step. Now there are two files that need to be made aware of the new change. That is the new payload that we have uploaded. Okay, the first one is cache.manifest and the second one is index.html. So first of all, I'm going to open cache.manifest. You could right click here and open it with any text editing tool, but I always recommend Notepad++ for this purpose. Okay, so we already have a list of all the payloads. Now this file tells the PS4 internet browser what files need to be cached. Okay, only the files in this folder will be cached. Okay, if you do plan on using the exploit host offline, then you will compulsorily need to add the new payload to this file. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the payloads folder and then here we have the name of the file that we just added. Okay, I'm going to rename it to just copy the whole name. You will have to copy the whole name as is. Okay, do not change anything here. And then come back to the cache.manifest folder and we're going to add it right here. So payloads is the folder that contains it. Okay, and then a / and then I'm going to paste the name of the new payload right here. Actually, it is better that you paste it alphabetically in this order. As you can see, we have gold hen 2.2.3 right here. Followed by that, we have 2.2.4. That is in the exact order that we need it to be. Okay, and then once that is done, I'm going to save the file. Okay, and then I'm going to go back and find the index.html file. Okay, I'm going to right click here and click on edit with Notepad++ to open this file and make the necessary edits. Since this is a gold hen, I would want it under the jailbreak tab. Okay, so this particular step might be pretty confusing and hard to follow for many people who are not very well aware with the basics of HTML and stuff. And for those people, I have some good news because I have made an index.html generator that would simplify this whole process. You could add tabs as you wish. You could specify the number of payloads and the actual payloads that come under each tab and stuff with that index.html. I've already worked on that and it's pretty set to go. And in the next video that I'm going to upload, I'm going to show you how you could use that. Okay, so for the time being, if you're good with HTML and if you're fine with HTML, you could just go ahead and make the change here. So divide is jailbreak. So I'm going to add the new payload under jailbreak tab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this. This is the link that leads to golden 2.24. I'm going to change it to 2.23 and then I'm going to go back to the payloads folder to copy the name of this payloads file for 2.23 and then I'm going to replace this particular portion with 2.2.3 to correspond to this. Okay, and then we're going to save the file. So we have made the necessary changes in both the cache.manifest and index.html file. We're ready to close this. Now we come to the final step before actually uploading our exploit host files to our website, that is our host. Okay, that is the .htaccess file. Okay, this file makes sure that all the link that comes to your website are redirected to the HTTPS version, which is considered more secure. Now you will have to be careful here. If your host does have free SSL, like in the case of Interserver, Interserver provides free SSL to everybody, so you won't have to worry about that. But if your host doesn't provide SSL, then you will have to buy it separately. Okay, in the case of Interserver, if you did follow my instructions and if you did find my recommended, that is Interserver, as a hosting platform good, then you won't have to worry about this file. But if your host has no SSL access for free, or if you have not bought it separately, you will have to delete this file. Okay, a .htaccess. And that was it. Now we are ready to upload the files to our host. Okay, now as you have seen, I have uploaded my exploit host to the subdomain, that is jb.ps4linux.com, and this is the folder within cpanel. You could access your file manager directly from the cpanel. All these instructions will be given on the host's website. In the case of Interserver, you can also contact the chat support if you do face any issues right here. So I'm within the folder that pertains to my subdomain, that is jb.ps4linux.com. If you're directly trying to upload it to your domain, for example, noobexploit.com or noobjb.com, then you will have to find the public_html folder and then upload the files right there. Okay. Now, before we upload, we'll have to go back right here and we're going to zip the contents of this folder. This is to make sure that the folders are actually copied properly to the host, because some hosts do not allow folders to be copied directly into the file manager using cpanel. Actually, if you're good with FileZilla and stuff and you know how to set it up, you could take that route. Else, what you have to do is just select all these files, right click here, and then I do have 7-zip on my system, so I do have the option to directly zip it, that is add to PS4 Linux exploit host version 1.zip. And then I'm going to go back to my file manager where I already have the folder for jb.ps4linux.com, the subdirectory or the subdomain right here. So I'm going to click on upload here and let's see. Now I'm going to upload this file right here. Okay, by dragging it, and it will take some time. It's a small file, so it might take less than a minute or a few seconds, and we have uploaded it successfully. And I'm going to quickly reload it to see the file right here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this file and then choose the option to extract, and then make sure that it is being extracted right to this folder. In your case, it will be public_html, and then I'm going to click on extract files. Okay, it's done. As you can see, all the files have been extracted. And now it is safe to delete this file, that is the version 1.zip file. Okay, now I'm going to delete it quickly. That's it. Your exploit host should be online right now. Let's quickly try and access it from the browser right now. Okay, this is the PC browser, and yep, here we go. As you can see, it is online and you have all the files right here. Now it's time to check it on a PS4. Let me quickly get on my PS4 and I'll show you right there. Okay, so I'm on my PS4 right now. I'm gonna go into the browser. Okay, right here. Actually, it will open the older version of the PS4 Linux exploit, as you can see right here. I'm gonna close it. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back to the browser to get this page, and then I'm gonna click on options and choose the delete all option, which will delete the browsing history. This is necessary because we have recently uploaded a new payload. So for the browser to know about this change, we will have to delete the history, browsing history. So I'm going to go into the browsing history and make sure that this is also deleted. And just to be safe, I'm going to go to settings and also delete the cookies and the website data. And now we are ready to go check out the newly uploaded payload on our website. Okay, so I'm going to go to the enter URL section and type in our web address, that is jb.ps4linux.com, and then check it out. And here it is. I'm going to wait for it to cache. And while it caches, I'm going to just check out the jailbreak section. And as you can see, we have the newly added payload right here, that is Goldhen 2.23. Okay, we're going to wait for the cache to complete. Okay. And by the way, for this process to happen, you will have to be connected to the internet for the first time. Okay, but once the cache has completed, you won't need internet to run the payloads anymore. Okay. Okay, the cache has been successfully completed. I'm going to press on OK. And then quickly, I'm going to turn off the internet right here. And I'm going to quickly go into the internet browser. And as you can see, the payloads, it does not ask for us to cache it anymore because the payloads have been thankfully cached. And quickly, let us try loading Goldhen 2.23. Okay. The process and the steps for this are the same as for any other payload host exploit that are available for 9.00 on PS4 right now. You will obviously need to have the exfat hacks image copied onto a pen drive or something. Okay. And yep, as you can see, Golden 2.2.3 has been loaded. Let me quickly go into the menu to see if, yep, here we have Golden. So that's it. Now that was all, guys. I hope you liked this tutorial, and I hope you also like the design of the new exploit host. It's not my best, but I do promise that I'll work more on it. Maybe many of you who might watch this video after a few months might find that the design of the exploit host has changed from what it was in this video. Okay. And by the way, once again, a very huge thanks to Slays Govi, Chendo Chap, Hippie68, and many other devs who have made this possible on the PS4. Thanks a lot for your hard work. And also thanks to the community that has shown me so much love and support over these few months that I've been active on the scene. I will be bringing more stuff for the PS4 Linux community. Okay, stay tuned, and also make sure that you're following me everywhere: Twitter, Facebook. And yeah, before I leave, I'd also like to announce the index.html generator for this particular host that we saw right now. I will be making a clear video, a detailed video on the usage of this index.html generator next. You could also watch that video if you want to make the whole editing process or adding payloads process easier for you. Okay. And if you do like my videos, and if you do like my work, and if you can donate to make sure that I keep working on the scene, please find the link in the description, and you could donate any amount. It would also help me build Proxmox and the future projects for PS4. Anyways, that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.